Hey there, YouTube. WhiskeyCactus here, welcoming you back to our Let's Play of The Letter. This is episode number 37, and as you can clearly see, we're in some deep shit right now. And there is something very unsettling clicking in my ear. And that is the only noise I'm hearing at the moment. But we are in the foyer of the mansion, and it is fucking bleeding. Wasn't aware that a house could bleed, but apparently it can. So... last time, we're still Ashton. Last time we found Marianne in the cellar, and we busted her out, and we got into the mansion through the wine cellar, through the kitchen. Marianne is currently waiting for us in the kitchen because she is 4 days without food and very, very little water. So, she can't fucking stand up. But we are searching for the crying woman because we think that's a good idea. And that led us to this foyer, which is now bleeding. So, now that you're up to speed, let's get killed by a ghost. In a flash, nearly without fanfare. It happens in the blink of an eye. I almost miss it. One moment there's red, and the next... I'm standing alone in the foyer. Well, I apologize to everybody, because I thought that was going to be a massive cliffhanger. And apparently, I'm fucking wrong. That is not the first time that has happened in this Let's Play. For a brief instant, I pause, glancing wildly about the place, blinking twice as if my movements will spur the vision back. Yet, nothing. No blood dripping on the walls, none trailing down the stairs or pooled on the floor, no eyes watching my every movement. Only the same cries gradually growing in intensity the longer I dally, along with a voice. Mother. Desperate.
Where are you, Mother?
Well, that sounds like Hannah. I want you to know the people downstairs are thumping a lot, and it's scaring the fucking shit out of me. Because... I can barely hear what's going on. All I feel is the building thumping. And they do it all the time. But, like, when I'm playing this game, it's extra unsettling. Pleading.
Mother, please. I don't want to be alone.
Coming from the same direction I've heard the cries from. Upstairs. This is such a bad idea, dude. The place is not entirely empty, then. Better question now is who? Well, that's obviously Hannah. I can tell by her voice. Although Ashton probably doesn't know what her voice sounds like. Definitely not Scumbag or the Butler. I've yet to see hide nor hair of them, and not knowing their whereabouts puts me on the edge. Have to be careful not to make any noise or be seen. Maybe the wife, though one can't really tell if it's her, the way the walls echo her voice. Nevertheless, it pushes me to move. Taking almost 2 steps at a time, despite the sickening feeling that something's lurking behind every great shadow, every small corner I pass. As if the house has several eyes watching my every movement. Could you not fuel my paranoia, bro? Please. I beg of you. As if something alive dwells behind the walls itself. Do you have to? Do you have to say that shit? Do you have to say that shit? Fuck you. ... Fuck again. Alright. This is fine. This is fine. This is totally fine. This is normal. This is what houses do. They do this occasionally. I mean, it's just something you gotta deal with. This isn't better. Alright, I can't read with all that. What? Where's the journal entry? Oh, there we go. I can't read with the crying. I gotta take my headphone out. Earbud out. Upon reaching the kitchen, the crying Ashton heard from outside began anew. On alert, he continued deeper into the mansion, even if he was uncertain if he would get out of the place alive. That is almost identical to the thing that you said over here. The crying Ashton heard from outside began anew. Yeah. It's the same exact thing, bro. Alright. Alright. I guess I'll try to read over this crying. I try to shake it off. Why are all the windows open? It seems like a bad idea. But the uneasy sensation has already made home at the pit of my stomach. Dread, And it only grows deeper the closer I get to her. That's where, well, first of all, that's where Marianne found the ghost of Lorraine in the mirror. That's also where, I believe, Isabella found the letter. So, all the way back in episode 2. Feels like 5 months ago, and it almost kind of was. Been playing this game a long time, guys. The relative emptiness of the place doesn't help either. Neither does the harsh wind battering the windows, nor the sheets of rain pelting down on the roof. For a fleet second, I find myself wishing for Scumbag to simply show up. I know, right? I don't get too far down into that train of thought. I mean, we could at least push him and, like, knock him over so the ghost gets him first, right? We could do that. Abruptly, the cries stop. That makes me feel good. I'm happy to hear that. Replacing it with...
She's here. She's here, Mother. She's going to take me.
Now, is that really Hannah? Or is that the ghost pretending to be Hannah? I don't even know anymore.
She won't leave, Mother. I don't want to go with her. Tell her to go away. Mother! Mother, she's here! Help!
Time to go bust in action hero style. Let's do this. That can't be good. Adrenaline overcomes me in a rush. In no 2 heartbeats, my feet's already moving before any sense can catch up or doubt creeps up to me. My hands ready at the holster as I hastily set off for the far side of the hall. Let's fucking go, man! One alarmed footstep after another while struggling to keep that sense of panic at bay. A door lies ajar at the end, and coming from the floor above...
She's going to hurt me! Help me!
Not if I have anything to say about it. I do not hesitate. Moving in, despite the lack of light, the steep stairs, or the thick layer of dust kicking up with it my every step. I pause only a moment upon reaching the top. Then, without wasting a second, I push the door open and there's a fucking ghost in my face. Let's save. Hello there! This is fantastic. That's not actually Hannah. She sits in the middle of the room, shoulders hunched, shaking. Her hands cover her face as she weeps, oblivious to my presence. That's... Oh, wait, no! No! It's not Hannah. It's Charlotte. That's Lady Charlotte. That's Lady Charlotte. Well, it's the ghost, but it's in the form of Lady Charlotte. That's what this is. Okay. Who is a past life of Hannah? I'm gonna throw that out there, too. Maybe. Her hands cover her face as she weeps, oblivious to my presence. It's as if she has heard neither my footsteps nor the soft creaking of the door, continuing undisturbed like I'm standing in a time far removed from her. Well, technically, yeah. She doesn't even flinch when I call out to her.
Hey, are you alright?
Bad idea.
Mother, I've done it, Mother. Take me with you, please.
Wails in the night we got.
I can still hear her. She's here. Help me! Help me, please!
Belatedly, I noticed the blood on her hands. If it's the same one drenching the whole attic, I'd rather not know. How the whole room has ended up like this is the least of my problems at the moment. Even the single human body doesn't have this much blood. So, bodies? The thought sends an unpleasant twinge in my stomach. Maybe she didn't have the slave burned. Maybe she killed her herself, as well as her husband. I don't know. Does Wright even know about this? This music is awesome, by the way. Just low-key, like, in the background here, this fucking amazing music. I'm just, like, jamming out right now, sorry. He's bad news, alright, but this is beneath him. He'll definitely balk at the first sight of it, anyone will. Yet the woman lingers here, unmoved by the sight, letting her sobs fill the room. Repeating the words over and over again like a prayer of salvation. To whom? The mess of parchment she has left on the floor? Huh? Just what the hell is happening?
Hey, lady, are you?
The rest of that question never makes it out. We're saving again. As epic as this music is, and not scary, We're about to be fucking ghosted right now. I don't even see it coming. Should have been more aware and on guard, really. There's little I can do when a well-placed blow to the back of my knees makes me stumble. Well, here we are. Well, here we are, guys. This is where we had a quick time event with Isabella. Sobs led Ashton to the mansion's attic. In the middle of the room, he found a woman crouched on the floor crying. Cautiously, he approached her, but as he was about to reach out for her, someone grabs him from behind. Wonderful. We're about to die. I'm switching over to all keyboard, because I'm convinced there will be a quick time event shortly. The momentum alone sends me reeling forward. Barely even registers in my head that the woman's gone, and the room's as normal as it can be. Not above the pain suddenly shooting up my side when I hit the floor. Don't even get the chance to get my bearings back when a hard enough blow to the stomach causes me to buckle down and land heavily on my knees. Gasping, I fumble wildly for my gun, although before I'm able to turn, level it and shoot, a hand grabs my wrist and twists it hard. A gasp, a grunt, a cry of pain slips past my mouth. Is it fucking Luke? The gun falls to the floor with a thunk. This is new music, too. This is really unsettling. As soon as it... Can I just say the music in this game is fucking amazing? All of it. Like, the scary music, the nice music, like, the introspective music, everything about it. This is really good. As soon as it lands, a foot kicks it out of my reach, and it slides uselessly under the bed. Agony suddenly explodes in my chin, jerking loose. A sharp cry of pain and stars fill the edges of my vision. A brief moment of regret hits me for leaving my taser with McCullough, when a piece of cloth closes around my neck. Without warning, my attacker pulls tight. I'm left gasping, choking, and clawing for air, blindly reaching behind me as I still try to fight him off and loosen the pressure on my neck. I bet it is Luke. He's an intruder, right? He's just fighting off an intruder. Except any sort of movement can only causes him to pull it taut.
My, so many rats scurrying about in this mansion lately.
Yo! What? It's Johann's. Holy shit. Oh my god. Is he just fighting an intruder? Or is Johann's a fucking demon? Bro. Bro, okay. What the fuck, man? Writes Butler. Shit.
Tell me, what did you do with the madam?
I have no idea what he's talking about. Did something happen to Hannah Wright?
Let go, you asshole. Now, Doomkopf, you're in no position to be rude. Last time I checked, I'm not the one breaking into other people's homes. Now answer my question. What did you do with the madam?
I didn't do a goddamn thing with the madam, you piece of shit, man. I used to like you. Pain rings and resonates through my already sore body. Still, I managed to ride it out and spit a mutinous...
You. Keep that dirty mouth babbling and you're getting a knife in the kidney. I assure you it will be more painful than this.
He really doesn't need to threaten me by now. It's all too much to bear at this point. My lungs feel like they're burning with the lack of air. Dark spots begin to fill the edges of my vision. Ever so slowly, the world around me dims. My consciousness rapidly slips away from me. Without meaning to.
Get away from him!
What the fuck? Isabella? Hearing that voice, it's as if I've been doused with a bucket full of ice. Ice cold water. Familiar, too familiar. And more importantly, it shouldn't be here. I shouldn't be hearing it here. Fucking Isabella fucking followed me. God damn it. Well, hey, man, she's about to save my ass. She shouldn't be here. Immediately, my eyes snap open. Hey there! Hey, you got a rolling pin and a taser. And right there, right on the attic's doorway, stands Isabella of all people. Hey, man. A rolling pin in one hand, standard issue police taser on the other. My taser. She must have borrowed it from McCullough. Where else could she have gotten one? I doubt she has ever used one even. Hell, the way she holds it right now, the guy can easily disarm her in one. There's something in her eyes. Though there's a look of fear in them, and her hand shakes, she keeps the weapon trained and pointed at Scumbag's lackey. Excuse me. Untrained or not, she does not plan to leave here without putting up a fight, it seems. Admirable, really. But it's just not something we need right now. I need her to be away from here. I need her safe. But the chances of that happening grow slim with every laughter that slips from him.
Oh, this is just getting better and better. The Bratwurst won't be pleased with the number of bodies we have to dispose of today, you know. Tell me, how many of you are there? So I can prepare the proper number of bags.
I really want to know what's going on with Johans. Is he actually like a demon, or is he just like a fucking security guard thing who's like just really, really dedicated? Damn it. What the fuck is going on? Why is she here in the first place? Did she follow after me? Who else came with her? Zach? Becca? Confirming that all those characters are alive? Are they all here? Panic surges within me. She knows how bad the situation is, but did she really have to run in here and expose herself like that? Does she even know how to use a taser? For fuck's sake. More than worrying for my life, it's her I'm concerned about. Getting strangled, dying by choking isn't part of the plan, but her following me here isn't either. This is why I prefer to do things alone. This is why I'd rather be the only one to take the consequences. Don't even want to think what this bastard might do to her after he's done with me. Why don't you have a little fucking faith in Isabella? All she has to do is smack him in the head with a fucking rolling pin. Then my voice comes off nearly a croak. I try to tell her as much. She has to leave. Stay far away from here and these people.
Don't! Damn it, Isabella! Get out of here!
Another bout of pain erupts in my side, cutting off my words. A cry of agony bursts from my mouth. I can taste blood in my tongue as I heave, attempting to get in as much air despite the towel still coiled around my neck.
Ash?
You're going to lose air quickly that way, Dummkopf. Better keep it shut.
Get out! 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 Val!
Don't be stupid! I'm not leaving you here!
He laughs, too cruel, too unforgiving. The way each note beats against my ears, in spite of the warmth in them. In spite of the warmth in them, send chills down my spine. This is a man whose hands have already been stained with blood before. He won't hesitate.
I'd follow his advice if I were you, little girl. What could you possibly do with a toy? Just hand it over and be on your way. It'll probably be too difficult for a little girl like you to use.
There's a moment of silence. Fuck, I can barely keep my eyes open. But in the next second, though I don't exactly understand what's happening, Isabella shouts. Not a cry of pain, late bloomer. Not a cry of pain, not a yell of panic. But one that's resolute, firm, perhaps in a tone that's leagues fiercer than any I've heard from her before.
Try me.
Nice. You fucking go.
Ashton, duck!
You fucking go. I do. More out of instinct and desire to survive, closing my eyes before my mind can fully process what's going on. Shit! It all happens in a blur. Telltale sound of a taser being discharged resounds through the room. The air crackles. Something whizzes by almost too close to my ear, followed by the thud of something blunt connecting solidly with another object. She threw the fucking rolling pin at him. Next thing I know, the towel strangling me has started to loosen. Well, alright. We have, I wonder what would have happened if Isabella was dead. Would Ashton just have died there? I mean, so many other things would have been different. Let's not even entertain that. Ashton attempted to fight back, but his attacker quickly disarmed him, looping a towel around his neck and strangling him. But just when he was about to lose consciousness, a familiar voice rings in the room, and... well, we know what happened, because we just saw it. I collapsed on the floor, dazed and gasping for air. From my peripheral, through the haze of blood rushing and sound slowly filtering back, the butler buckles. He spasms once, then, without much fuss, falls face first beside me, knocked unconscious by 50,000 volts of electricity and a fucking rolling pin. He'll be out for a while. I have no idea whether I should laugh or cry at that. Somewhere in front of me, my oxygen-deprived brain vaguely registers Isabella's form. She slumps on the floor, also breathing heavily. Right next to her, trembling hands, both the taser and the rolling pin lie useless and forgotten, while the mood in the room eases. A long, gradual process of the tension lifting. For countless seconds we remain quiet, with only our short gasps and sighs to fill the silence, allowing the adrenaline to ebb away, and both are breathing to slow. Not a true response by any means, but simply a brief respite. Repose. Repose. It said repose, guys. There's still the curse. We're still inside the mansion in imminent danger. We still have no idea how to fix this. I still want to know what the fuck's up with Johans, unless he's just a really, really dedicated fucking security patrol. Outside, the rain seems to only intensify. Lightning flashes fleetingly somewhere. White and piercing, and the sky rumbles. No rest for the wicked. ... I stir first, once recovered, having regained some semblance of sense and strength. Breathing still hurts, but it's bearable, as is moving, although every small motion causes a wince. There will be bruising tomorrow, I can manage. Retrieving my gun from under the bed is easy, but only with some effort I am able to drag an unconscious man to the far end of the room, snapping one end of a handcuff on his wrist while fastening the other on the bed frame. That should keep him restrained for a few hours in case he wakes up prematurely. All through this, Isabella stays quiet. In fact, she hasn't even moved since. Her hands still shake, and taking in long draws of breath while she stares vacantly in front of her, almost as if she's in shock. Perhaps she isn't even expecting any result, spurred only by some kind of desperation. Now it's sinking in. Unfortunately, we need to get moving. We don't have time to wait for everything to register in our heads. Kneeling in front of her, I give her a light shake.
Belle, we need to go. We can't stay here.
Slowly she turns, staring at me with wide eyes. Worry flickers briefly in them along with something ineffable. Then, without warning, she lifts a hand and slaps me right across the face. You fucking go, girl. You do it. Smack him. You fucking smack him. Sound of it cracks the air, shattering the silence like a fragile glass breaking. Despite the familiar rumble of thunder outside, it managed to ring louder above the storm. I don't even know what hit me until my head has already snapped back and my cheek stings with her anger. And it is anger, in spite of the stillness and the lack of words afterwards. Not fuming, though, never fuming, but the kind that burns lightly and soundlessly. Frustration instead of a seething rage. One that ebbs just as quickly as it flows, and once the tide subsides, there's only that gleam in her eyes, warm, steadfast, and unflinching. Quietly, I brace myself for the truth underneath that gaze. It slips from her lips softly, nearly fading under the sound of the rain still falling fast, if not for the weight in each of her words.
What is wrong with you?
Yeah, a lot.
Belle,
If Zach didn't slip up, no one would have known where you went.
Belle, one person knowing is enough. Any more than that, and
You almost died.
Yeah, a little bit.
He could have suffocated you right then and there, and you could have died.
I told Zach to give me 4 hours. That would have been enough time to...
It would have been too late. And by the time anyone ever finds out, you're already fertilizer.
She trails off, drags one indrawn breath after another. A brief lull as her frustration finally gives, dissolves into something more pensive and somber. Her shoulders droop, and though her voice rises hoarse and weary, in her next words there's only certainty.
You count too, you know. When I said, that night when I told you, I don't want to lose anyone anymore, that includes you, alive. We're still here, Ash. You have us.
And once their meaning fall, roar, it does so not with force of a dam breaking or a raging storm. I have no idea what that sentence is supposed to mean. But with the gentle, steady warmth of a hearth burning, an ember easing slowly... What are we talking about? An ember easing slowly, lightly, rising and giving until all that's left is a truth and understanding. Not alone. Never alone. Okay. Okay. Got a lot of journal entries. Having recovered, Ashton quickly urged Isabella to move, knowing it wasn't safe to stay idle. Without warning, however, Isabella slapped him. Furious at him for keeping people in the dark, she reminded him of what was important, and with it came a realization about himself. It lingers, even as we both drift back into silence and her words take root, because in the gratitude that swells after is another warmth blooming. Pleasant, welcoming, like finding home, like finding ourselves in the haze a squall has left, creating something fragile yet immutable in both of us. It's in her eyes, in the way she holds my gaze unwavering, in the way she carries herself despite sitting amidst a place she fears, in the way she keeps herself from trembling and falling apart because fear is inconsequential when people she cares about are at risk. A change. She realizes that now, holds on to it. Another little thing, another small thing from her that may go unnoticed and pass by quietly, but will eventually amount to a lot of things. Tiny gestures that mean nothing at first, but began to matter to me one day until... Oh. Despite myself, a small smile slips from my lips as the same warmth from earlier unfurls in my chest. Unhurried, familiar, and bright from all these years I've carried it, but have never given the words for it. Oh shit! Are we doing it? Are we gonna fucking do it? Is this what's happening right now?
Stop smiling like that, Ashton. I'm not done scolding you.
Okay. But this time they come easy. Bro! Alright. Alright.
I heard all of it. Don't worry.
Are you really okay? That guy hit you a little too hard on the head. Here, let me...
I reach up just as she extends a hand toward my face, catching her wrist in a light grip, drawing it closer and folding her hand in between mine. Although her expression does shift into mild confusion, she does not pull away like I'm expecting. She simply stares at me, searching. For her to allow a gesture from me that's perhaps too close tells a lot how far things have already shifted in the past few years. Cradled in mine, her hand still trembles. Most of the tremors have already subsided by now, though I doubt it'll fade away this soon, even as I trace the lines of her palm in what I hope is a comforting gesture.
I'm sorry, Belle.
For what? Is this about what happened tonight? You can apologize later, when...
No, well, this too, but it's not just about this. It's for a lot of things.
Here it comes. Maybe. Probably not, because... reasons.
For calling me clumsy, and careless, and a scatterbrain.
You know what? No matter what, this is still worth it. Are you sure this isn't a concussion?
You would think that, wouldn't you?
Well, you don't usually apologize.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry about that too. For all the times I've teased you and made you cry.
Unexpectedly, her fingers tighten around mine, our hands falling between us as something tender shifts in the air. Another exhale. Another drawn breath eases out of me, filled with every hesitation and uncertainty. When I finally choose to break the silence. It's only when I know that what will slip past my mouth is that one truth I will hold against the world. Go for it, bro. Just do it.
But for all those callous words,
Just fucking do it.
despite all those, there's nothing I don't love about you.
There it is.
In fact, those things, I love those. And everything. Everything that's you.
Smooth AF, man. Smooth AF. Only took a fucking ghost and nearly getting suffocated by a German butler. For a long moment, she offers no response. Her grip on my hands merely tightens. Although my heart's pounding hard against my ears, I take a chance and look up. Slightly leaning away and giving her a cautious glance, more than ready to hear her rejection. Oh dear. Is that 'cause of this? Really? You're gonna reject me over 2 little chunks of relationship points? Really? Man. Almost makes me want to go back and replay through the game. And it is one, despite the smile on her face. If it can even be called one, of course. There's a pained aspect to it I can hardly name. Regardless of what it means to her or what she intends to convey with it, the sight of it alone makes me regret ever mentioning anything. Well, now you know how Becca felt like 2 episodes ago. It's almost as if she's forcing herself to push out the next words out of her mouth for the sake of not hurting me. Not that I won't be able to take it, but if these feelings will only put a heavier burden on her, I'd rather not have said anything at all. As expected, with one last squeeze at the hand cradling hers, she pulls her hand away from mine. When she speaks, though, there's a stark refusal to meet my eyes. Not that I hold it against her. The situation's already awkward as it is.
Ash...
She pauses, biting her lower lip. A small frown forms between her eyebrows while she struggles to find the right phrases to string together.
Ashton, I'm really sorry.
Oh, no, it's cool. I was already expecting that. Kind of. But you don't have to...
No, I mean, I can't. I can't afford to think of anything other than helping my family. Especially now that Papa's gone.
Not right now. Oh, 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 no, 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 you get away from that. Don't get sucked into that one.
They're going to need me more than ever, Ash. I'm sorry. I really can't.
I guess it has to be maxed. That's interesting. So I'm trying to think. The only thing I guess would have been at the very beginning of the game when I had the choice between hanging out with Ash and hanging out with Zack. And I chose to hang out with Zack. And we went to the mansion and did all that stuff. That is, I think, the only time that I didn't put relationship points between Isabella and Ashton. So, yeah, I guess it has to be maxed. Well, there you go, guys.
Not right now.
Now you know how to get them together. I imagine this scene would go differently if it was, maxed out relationship points. Just as I imagine the Becca scene would go differently if that was maxed out relationship points. I've always known it would lead to this to some extent. Her family will always come first. Who am I to take that from her? It hurts, of course, but the pain eases, knowing that in spite of circumstances, her heart will always be in the right place. That she's still the same woman I've fallen in love with.
It's all right, Belle. Don't apologize. If it still matters, that's actually what I love about you. Of course, not that I'm expecting anything by telling you that, but you get the point. Yeah.
Thanks, Ash. I mean, thank you for loving me. Even after everything.
Thank you is not a great answer. Her response is a smile and a soft laughter, perhaps the sweetest I've seen and heard from her. Just from it, I know nothing will change, despite her answer and any lingering feelings that will come from this. And there will be. Lingering feelings, that is. The way she barged into our lives 5 years ago, it'll probably be enough to leave a terrible impression on anyone, but that's also precisely it. It's people like her that you don't easily forget. It's them that gradually worm their way into a person's life until the very thought of losing them becomes unbearable. As it is, I'm already content simply staying by her. No grand expectations or hopes attached. Just the banter, the small smiles, and the quiet little moments that roar. I love her, but that also isn't all there is to us.
I know I caused you all kinds of trouble these past few years.
Hey, whoever told you I'm doing this for free? After we're done with this curse thing, you're gonna owe me a year's supply of ice cream.
Yeah, we'll see.
Another laughter, this time from both of us. Then she hits my arm with a light punch. Familiar, warm, bright and hopeful, much like everything about her. And it is strength enough to keep me going as I lead us both out. Alright, let's see this new journal entry. What do we have here? We have so many entries. We have understanding how much she also meant to him. Ashton took both of her hands in his and apologized, and in a rare moment of honesty confessed how he truly felt for her. However, although thankful, Isabella was unable to return his feelings and turned him down. Well then, Twitter is very disappointed in that decision that I made there. I swear to God, my Twitter feed, especially lately, like within the past week or so, has been full of Ashton and Isabella shipping. But, it's not gonna happen in this playthrough, guys. I apologize. So go buy the game, and go make all the right choices. You've seen how to get them, Ashton and Isabella, to here. So choose Ashton instead of Zack in that first choice in Isabella's chapter, and, you'll probably get all the way up. And it is strength enough to keep me going as I lead us both out. Oh, that doesn't sound good. That doesn't sound good, but we still have time, so we can find out what it is. ... Power still hasn't come back. Oh, the power's out. Well, that makes sense. I didn't know that that was actually a confirmed thing. I thought he was just kind of guessing about that. But that would make sense why nobody's turning on the lights. Alright. Power still hasn't come back when we make our way downstairs. Tricky, considering the stairs to the attic are a bit old. One misstep and anyone might end up slipping and falling. You're lucky if that's all that'll happen to you. The stairs this steep, a broken neck is a likely outcome. Thankfully, Isabella's here to guide me through the darkness. She knows this place better than anyone, after all, in spite of all the misfortunes it has brought to us.
Careful, the floorboards over there aren't very sturdy.
Right on cue, the same board I'm stepping on creaks and suddenly breaks. The piece is falling somewhere with a dull thunk.
Oh, shit. Scumbag wouldn't be too happy about that. Ow, foot.
See? I told you so. You never listen to me.
They renovated the whole mansion. They can't even replace one tiny part of the house.
Why don't you file a complaint to BRC then? I'm sure they'd be thrilled to hear it. You know it was such a rush job.
Outside, the winds have intensified. Even from here, I can hear the gusts battering the window in the attic. Makes you wonder why, up till now, the only person we've encountered from this house is the butler. Although to some degree that makes sense, he is in charge of running the place. Where are the other servants, though? In the storm, wouldn't anyone want to stay inside? A likely assumption is they're all asleep. The route I've taken doesn't really pass by the rooms they've likely assigned as the servants' quarters, however. They have also heightened security. I brushed it off earlier, thinking they'll be posted a lot closer to where the master's rooms are, but the second floor is devoid of anyone as well. As if every inhabitant of this place has suddenly disappeared overnight. More importantly, where's the scumbag? I don't like this. I don't like this at all. The fact that we're here, right in the fucking middle of it, makes me all the more queasy. And that feeling only escalates once we reach the landing and Isabella swings the door open. Where's Marianne? She pauses abruptly, right in the doorway that I almost ran into her. A look of confusion's in her as she looks wildly around the place, wordlessly taking in her surroundings. With each turn and shift of her eyes, her shoulder only grows tenser, and a look of apprehension slowly dawns on her.
Isabella, what are you...
We aren't supposed to be here.
What? Sure enough, when I look up, we're standing right in the kitchen, pots, pans, and all. Oh, guys. 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 What the fuck part of stay put didn't you understand? In one corner, Zach and Rebecca watch almost as surprised to see us. Oh, there's McCullough. Okay. McCullough's also with them. Of course, she didn't listen to me, even if I've already exceeded the 15 minutes we've agreed on. Although color and strength seem to have already returned to her, enough for her to be able to stand unassisted. The empty plate on the counter appears to have played a part in that. Good news, I guess. As for the other two, however, relieved as I am that they've had the sense to wait and not venture deeper into the mansion, I can't keep but roll my eyes at both of them.
Zach, I said 4 hours.
I know, but Isabella asked and... Come on, bro, you know I ain't a very good liar.
And it didn't even occur to you to stop her?
We all tried, all right? She was out the door before we could say anything.
And how did you guys even get in here?
All three of them exchange a look. One that I absolutely don't like. In the end, it's Isabella who speaks up, albeit with a bit of hesitation. Did Zach call Hannah?
We heard someone scream, Ash.
Oh.
It led us here.
Oh dear. Without warning, the door behind us slams shut.
We need to get out of here.
Screw right. I need to get these people out of here. Lucky we're in the kitchen, and we have two ways out. The back door and the cellar. The cellar offers. Coffers? Except the hatch won't budge when I pull at it, and neither does the back door, of course, as if something has locked it firmly on the other side. Zach also gives it a few tries, but even with the big guy's strength, it won't open. There's a long bout of silence in which we all simply look at each other, likely sharing the same thoughts. Well, in case you haven't noticed, you know, every character of importance is now in the mansion on Halloween night, as I kind of expected to happen. I mean, I kind of figured this is what the end game was going to be, but keep in mind, we still have Luke's chapter. We're trapped. Something or someone has intentionally led us here. Fuck. That same moment, once realization dawns in, something shifts again. Great. Oh, this is just what I want. This is just what I want. Oh man, the lag here. That lag is real. That is some real-ass lag. Together, Ashton and Isabella carefully made their way downstairs. However, instead of a hallway, the kitchen greeted them instead. Before they could understand what was happening, it slammed shut behind them, and the whole mansion had started to shift. So for some reason, we ended up in the kitchen when we shouldn't have, and now everything's gone all weird. So we're just gonna save. We're just gonna go ahead and do a little save. Just do a little save. Blood. In every nook and cranny, over every surface, and in every inch of the floor. This time, unlike the first one I've seen, it remains, and gradually the whole room begins to reek of that familiar metallic scent. Sharp, suffocating. Around us, every object, including the cupboards, have started to rattle as well. The sounds from outside, foreboding rumble of thunder, and even the howling winds have begun to fade away, replaced by whispers, shouts, and cries of pain. Although inaudible, each beat and note bombards every crevice of my head with vague images and sounds. There's no time to make sense of everything, however. I'm already shouting, fueled purely by adrenaline, barking orders and making a break for the door that leads to the next room, the dining. It should take us straight to the foyer, where the main door is. I bet you it doesn't!
Move! Run!
Right in front of us, the mansion has started to change, and we're in the thick of it. However, instead of the dining room like it's supposed to open to, the bedroom welcomes us instead. We're just gonna do it. Just do a little save. Just gonna do a little save. Do a little save. An image that lasts only but a second before blood begins to seep into the room. Oh dear. Oh dear. Filtering into the walls, trickling. Take two. Filtering into the walls, trickling from every nook and cranny, everywhere furniture shakes and every beam rattles. Before we can even step back from the horror gradually unfolding in front of us, the door slams shut. A loud thud bringing a sense of dread and chill creeping up in each of us. Along with it is another realization: the whole place is reordering itself. And with the door closed tight behind us, showing no signs of budging, even through sheer force, there's no choice but to go forward and hope to all gods that it'll lead us to an exit. Oh, this is not good. I don't want to be here. I don't want to be in this study. Bad things happened in this study. Until then, running's the only thing we can do, spurred by nothing but fear and a sense of desperation to live.
It's useless, Ashton Frey.
But with each room we pass, it only becomes apparent that the house has no intention of letting us leave. We're in the fucking labyrinth now. Where's the Minotaur? It lured all of us here, and we've fallen for it. Now it's playing a little game with us, a sordid form of amusement. Is this house bigger on the inside than it is on the outside? Is this house of leaves? For whom? Their laughters are the only thing we can hear. With every hall we cross and door we slide open, the hope of finding an exit merely dwindles. The gun at my hip is useless here. I am useless here. Some fucking genius I am. Some fucking person to trust I am. All of those, they mean nothing in the face of the unknown.
You finally figured it out. Huh, Ashton Frey. Just give it up. All of them will eventually die because of you. Then you are going to die alone.
Shut your fucking mouth.
You know it's true, though.
All of it. It's why all you can do is tell us to shut up. You don't want to hear a single word, because you're already aware of it.
This is getting crazy, man. Where's Luke and Hannah?
You can't even admit it to yourself. Who's the coward now?
I admitted a lot today, I'll have you know.
But no matter how hard you try, you're not gonna be able to save anyone.
We'll see about that. The more gruesome the place turns, the bleaker our chances simply get. Great. Wails and screams fill our ears as we pass by. Words from a time and people long gone, laced with nothing but pure agony, calling out, reaching out to us. Their voice is almost too real, as if we're not the only ones trapped here, that there are others begging for release from this wretched place. You know what? I wouldn't be surprised if that's true. Maybe it's all just a show. A taste of what we will eventually be, souls forever held captive in a never-ending nightmare.
Mother, I've done it, Mother. Take me with you, please.
Okay. This is great.
She's here. Help me! Help me, please!
Uh-huh. Is it actually you this time, Hannah, or is it still Lady Charlotte, aka the ghost, aka all the dead people? Is this what the curse is? What it means for all of us? That the letter, not a morbid cry for help, but an invitation? A beckoning for unsuspecting souls to be dragged into this place's horrors, to be put under centuries and centuries of torment and agony? Suddenly, dying a painful death seems preferable, enticing, than ending up here, living a tortured existence. Perhaps it's all the same. Still, hope worms its way into me. Not a usual thing for someone like me. It's been midnight for a while now. Has time stopped? Legitimate question. Has time actually, stopped? I don't know. But after going through countless doors and corridors, every little sign of hope I'm willing to cling to, as long as it'll get us out of here. We're back in the dining room again. How long have we been running? How long since we've left the kitchen? At some point I've lost track of time. With the windows barred tight and the sounds lifting in the air, nothing but shouts and shrieks. It's impossible to tell. Not that it matters when an end is in sight. Oh dear! What do we have here? Shelves and furnishings bar the door, each stained with blood and gore. Great. That if the situation isn't as desperate as it is, I'd find a different way out. There's still a gap left at the topmost part for a person to go through, as long as you use the shelves to climb.
It's next at all right.
From here I can spy the familiar walls of the foyer. Relief, only relief washes over me. You naive fool. You fucking naive fool. Although my legs have been strained taut by all that running and every bone and muscle in my body ache, there's only an easing. A sense of tension relieving while energy back flows through me again. Energy back flows back through me again at the sight of an end? No sooner I'm leading us out of it. Zach helps McCullough first, assisting her up and through the gap before giving a hand to both Rebecca and Isabella. The moment the ladies are in, I nod for him to go through.
Go ahead. I'll watch your back.
Oh dear, we're gonna get trapped in here by ourselves, aren't we? Surprisingly, he does that without any protests. Not that there's any need to. Sometime after entering this room, the whole place has calmed down. No wails, no whispers, just a silence too deafening, but I'm not letting my guard down until everyone's on the other side of this nightmare safe. For all I know, this may just be a calm before another storm. It's a trap! Without further incident, however, Zach makes it to the other side and I'm following after him. However odd this hush is, I turn my back from it and climb up. It's a tight fit, but I manage to squeeze myself in. The unease remains, though. Maybe it's the adrenaline still coursing through me, or how easy everything has been after living through that nightmare, fleeting as it is. But for some reason, something's still nagging at me. Call it a detective's instinct, or my training, or whatnot. I have a feeling something's going to happen and catch us unprepared. Unconsciously, before dropping down on the better side of this dream, my hand shifts to the gun at my hip. Instinct has never failed me before. Great. My feet haven't even landed firmly on the floor when... Fingers on keys.
Had I known there would be a party in my own home tonight, I would have opened a bloody bottle or two.
Oh boy, the gang's all here, well, except for Hannah, but I'm sure she's not too far behind. But I think, guys, sorry, we're in some heavy climax shit right now, but we are at about 50 minutes, so I am going to have to go ahead and end the episode here. You'll just have to watch the next one to find out what happens. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this episode, please be sure to leave a like and a comment down below, and make sure you're subscribed for more of The Letter, because you don't want to stop watching it now, clearly. As well as whatever else is on this channel. So, next time, we're going to say hi to Luke Wright. I imagine we're going to find Hannah pretty soon, because we have to get all 7 of the major characters together, and we still have Luke's chapter. We still have Luke's chapter to do. We're still not done Ashton's chapter, and that just blows my fucking mind. I don't know what's going to happen. But, stuff. There's a whole bunch of stuff. We're in the thick of it now. I can't imagine that we're too far off the end game. So, I hope you're excited for that. I know I am. Hopefully we'll get a good chunk of it next time. Hopefully we'll finish the Ashton chapter next time and get to start Luke's chapter. I don't know what Luke's chapter could possibly be. I don't know if it's just going to be like kind of the ending. Maybe it's more like an epilogue kind of thing. I don't know. Because Ashton started way late in the story. Maybe Luke will start like now in the story or something. I don't know. But all those questions will be answered in future episodes, so please stay tuned for them. I will see you in the next episode. Goodbye.